Hey, what's up Aquamigos? How are you guys doing today? If you're new here, my name's Tobias, and before I get started with today's video, I want to give a big shout out to Baby Turtle 1990. They suggested that I do like an indoor fish tank tour. I don't have a crazy fish room or anything like that. I just have my 3 tanks, and then I'll show you guys up at my pool pond and also the new koi pond that I'm building that I'm almost finished with. And after that, I figured I'd give a shot at recording the rest of what I do in a day to see if I can make a video out of that that's interesting enough for people to watch. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but I kind of feel like giving it a try and seeing what happens. So anyways, the first tank that I have over here is my 10-gallon guppy tank. So this is just your standard 10-gallon Aqueon tank. I have an aqua clear filter in the back over there. But one thing about that filter, I've considered modifying it to make it a bit bigger, or maybe just getting a new filter in general, because it is a bit on the small side. Plus this tank is probably technically a bit overstocked. But anyways, in here I have red dragon guppies that I got from my buddy Glenn back in 2021. Obviously these aren't the same exact guppies that I've gotten from him. They've bred over time. These are probably like the babies of the babies and so on and so forth. It's now 2026. So yeah, I've had like, you know, probably several generations of these guppies since I've got them from Glenn. And I really enjoy keeping these. They're really interesting. I've tried to keep the strain as pure as possible. By the way, this tank needs a good clean, but when it comes to the aquascape, you know, I'm just using regular play sand back here. I have some Ciru stones in there that are covered in what seems to be some kind of an algae. And back here, I just have some crested java fern. I've tried a few different plants in this tank, including dwarf hairgrass. It didn't take, probably because I don't have a CO2 system on this tank or anything. Actually, on any of my tanks, I don't have CO2. And actually, just within the last, I want to say year or so, I just got aquarium lights on the tanks. But that's just about it when it comes to this tank. Over here, we have my 50-gallon tall guppy tank, and the thing about this tank is it has the same exact red dragon guppies as in my 10-gallon tank. However, the funny thing about this tank is that you might notice that the coloring of these red dragon guppies, they kind of came out with more of a sunburst color on their tails, while in my 10-gallon tank they seem to have more of a reddish tail, probably just from some unintentional selective breeding there. That's what I'm guessing. I have a big Anubias plant in there, and I apologize from the glare. I can't seem to get rid of it. There's a really strong glare on this tank. I even have my polarizer on my camera, but it doesn't seem to be helping much. I have a ton of this algae in the back. I remove a ton of it every once in a while, but you know, it just seems to grow back, but I'll see what I can do about that. This tank I got from a friend of mine back in 2019. He wasn't keeping fish anymore and he had this empty tank, so he just gave it to me. The pebbles down here, I believe they're just like a type of river stone or something like that. And this tank also has an aqua clear filter on it. This one seems to keep up quite well with this tank. And then I guess the most notable thing about this tank is the massive pothos plants that I have coming out of this tank. All this is from this tank, guys. All of this is from this tank. I started off with some really small pothos clippings, like probably about this big, just stuck them in the tank. And over the course of, I don't know, like four-ish years or so, maybe even 5 years, they've just grown like crazy. Okay, so there are a small amount of pothos plants coming from up there, but the vast majority of these plants are coming from my 15-gallon tank, and I think it looks like super cool. And yeah, that's just about it for this tank. Let's go over to my 20-gallon long tank. So this is my 20-gallon long tank. You'll notice right here I have my automatic aquarium water top-up system that I set up here. It automatically tops up my 20-gallon. And actually, I forgot to show you guys on my 10 and 15-gallon tanks, I also have this. It's actually meant to be used for houseplants, but I figured it works really well for aquariums at like keeping the water levels up. So basically there's a hose that comes out of this bucket. It splits in two. One hose goes to my 10-gallon. The other hose goes back here to my 15-gallon. These really help keep up the water levels on my tanks, especially when I'm out of town. I've already made a couple videos on these water top-up systems. I'll go ahead and put the links to these videos down in the description below in case you want to check those out. But anyways, in my 20-gallon, basically I have some more Ciru stone. All the sand in here is also just regular play sand that I got from Home Depot. The plants I have in here, Anubias, there's some regular java fern, there's some back here, There's some crested java fern down here. This aquarium light I have up here is by Oyo Water. And back here I have another aqua clear aquarium filter. I also have a couple pothos plants coming up the back corners of this tank. You may notice that the pothos in this tank is much smaller than my 15-gallon tank. And one thing I've noticed is that pothos really responds to light. The lighting here is not that great. The other side of my room gets way more light than over here. So that pothos grew like crazy while this pothos was more or less stunted in growth. But nonetheless, I still think it's pretty cool. And you know, it's an okay size. It's just kind of small. As for the fish that I have in here, these are kind of like a mixture of endlers and fancy guppies. So I kind of call this like my mutt guppy tank. And the thing that I really like about this tank is that you end up with a lot of variety. I know, like I was saying earlier, I've tried to keep my dragon guppy strain pretty pure. And I guess technically those are the more valuable fish. I mean, if you were to like, you know, look at it from a financial standpoint. But I think it's just so fun having like mutt guppies, and they come out like all different colors, all different designs. I don't really do anything with these guys. I don't like separate them. You know, I just kind of let them do their own thing, and I think they come out with some really cool designs and they look really nice. You know, when it comes to people just starting out in the hobby, I really think that to succeed with aquariums, I think a lot of people try to do too much. You really don't have to do too much. Let the tank establish, you know, make sure you have a cycled tank before you add fish. Test your water in the beginning all the time. Keep up with some pretty regular water changes until you get a feel for how often you have to do them, depending on your water parameters when you test your water. And I'll think you'll be perfectly fine. Don't try to change stuff in the aquarium too much. Don't try to switch out decorations. Don't try to do all this extra stuff. Sometimes I think the less you interfere, the better. And now, as you can see, we're up here at the pool pond and the new koi pond. This here is an Intex above ground pool. I believe it's something like 700 gallons or so. I have a DIY double trash can filter on this end, and then my DIY intake bay on this end, which houses the pond pump. Inside the pond, I have mostly goldfish. I do have my one butterfly koi, which you can see right here. But yeah, mostly just common and comet goldfish. And then I do have one shabunkin, which is right there. He's definitely my largest goldfish. Over here inside the koi pond, as of the time being, the only thing I have in here is rosy red minnows. There are a ton of them. I have those in here mostly as mosquito fish. I estimate that the koi pond is roughly 3,000 gallons. Here is my DIY settlement tank. I have a bottom drain down there, which comes up right here into the settlement tank. I also have a skimmer which comes in right there. It's here just below the surface of the water. This over here houses the pond pump, and it's going to be like more or less the first stage of mechanical filtration. And then these are all of my biofilters right here, all DIY. We just finished this yesterday. My dad was out here helping me. We just finished all the pipe work for the return pipes. So we're really close to being done with the koi pond. When it's finished, the plan is to transfer all of these fish into that pond, but there are a few things I have to do before we do that. Like I have to install the net over the top to protect the fish from predators. And actually I do have to fill in some dirt in here, cover up all these pipes. And there's still a few other small things I need to do before I can fill those filters up with biomedia. I have to do a little bit more work on the filters, but then it's pretty much good to go. And just how I showed you, I have an automatic aquarium top-off system on all of my tanks. I pretty much have a similar system for my ponds as well. As you can see, this hose is on right here. It's at a very slight trickle, and pretty much I have this hose hooked up to an inline dechlorinator. I did a review on this thing like I want to say it's been over a year ago. That's my inline dechlorinator, which I have hooked up to this rain point water timer. So pretty much I have this thing come on for 2 hours a day. Sometimes I even just turn it on manually, but it comes on automatically for 2 hours a day and adds water to the pond, whichever pond I have that hose in. And that's pretty much it for the tour, and it's time for me to get on with the rest of my day. And if this is the point of the video where you tune out, I totally understand, and thank you for watching up until this point. But anyways, when it comes to the rest of my day, pretty much I start every day at about 9 a.m. By that time, I've already had breakfast and my coffee, and I'm ready to get on with business. And while most of what I do revolves around content creation, another task that I do for the company that I work for is I handle the TikTok shop returns. So I need to log all of these packages right here. And when I'm done, we're going to take a trip to the storage unit. However, before I get started with that, I'm going to take a break for probably probably about an hour because every day my girlfriend and I, we have a phone call that lasts probably about an hour. Some of you might remember Gabby, she lives in Germany. Some of you may remember the videos I made when I visit her. And after that, we'll continue with this, and then we'll have to take a trip to the storage unit where I will store these and pick up a few products that I'm selling. In case you're curious, these are the headphones I use for talking on the phone. These are the Neo Quoquo Q11s. I've done a video on these on my tech channel. They're super comfortable. They're not very expensive though. I'll go ahead and put a link to my review video of these down in the description below in case you want to check that out. And actually guys, I think I'm going to have to come back to those packages later because it's going to rain today. At least it's supposed to rain, and I need to finish recording an Aquamigos video outside.
All right, Aquamigos.
All right guys, mission accomplished. Check this out. We got this all covered up. My dad just came out to check it out. All right guys, we're now gonna go to the storage unit. The rain still hasn't come on. Hopefully, it would be cool if it didn't come on until we got back home. I'd be pretty happy about that. But yeah, let's go. All right guys, here we go. I'm just gonna set up these shelves. I brought another set of shelves just like these that we're gonna set up over here, and I'll be able to organize stuff a lot better. So I usually only go to the storage unit maybe once a week max, so this wasn't really a super typical day for me, but I mostly did have to go because I had to pick something up from there, and then also I did have that shelving sitting in the back of my car for a while, so I figured I might as well put it together. All right guys, so that took a while. I actually do have a second set of those shelves, but I didn't set them up today. I'll probably set them up the next time I come with all that stuff that I had to log at the house. By the way, I'm selling a ton of the stuff from my storage unit. It's mostly audio equipment. I'm selling a bunch of different microphones and stuff like that, including wireless microphones like the one that I'm using in this video. A bunch of the stuff will be on my eBay account, so I'll go ahead and link my eBay down below in case you want to check it out. I'm also gonna sell a bunch of my clothes and stuff, but mostly audio stuff. Surprisingly, still no rain, and actually another reason we have to go to the storage unit is because someone is buying this from me, so I had to pick this up as well. And it's just about that time, guys. I gotta feed these fish. As you probably noticed, I haven't been filming my super basic stuff that I do every day either, like filming myself eating dinner. So as you can see, it is dark outside already, and here I am logging those TikTok return packages. So as you saw, I logged all those packages, and there are pretty much 2 hours left in the day. And pretty much what I mean by that is what I typically do to assure that I work a full 8 hours a day, whether it's like making YouTube videos or like stuff for my actual like day job, as people would call it. I set a timer on my phone for 2 hours, and I pretty much work straight for 2 hours, then I take a break, then I go 2 hours, take a break, 2 hours, take a break, 2 hours. So I do that 4 times to assure that I have like 4 2-hour work blocks of concentrated action where I'm not like being distracted and stuff like that. And I felt that really personally, that helps me a lot. So I'm down to my final 2-hour block. And in case you didn't know, I do a lot of tech reviews. I have a second channel dedicated to doing tech reviews. I actually used to do a lot of tech reviews on this channel, kind of more so in the early days of the Aquamigos. But in this box right here are pretty much all new products that I have to do reviews for. And as you can see here, I have quite a lot of mechanical keyboards. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 RK keyboards and 2 Red Dragon mechanical keyboards. So I think I need to select one of those, and I'm going to try to pick out the coolest looking one. I'm not sure. They're all pretty cool looking, but I want to take them all out so I can get a better look at them. Whoa, these are all really cool. So I have 6 keyboards here. Oh man, this is gonna be a tough decision. That purple one is super cool. Oh man, I don't know. I think I'm gonna choose this purple one right here, and I'll do these later. So pretty much the plan now is to unbox this bad boy, and I'll start writing a script, and that's pretty much what I'll be working on for the next a little bit less than 2 hours. And then I'm done. I'm gonna chill. Of course, before I record the unboxing, I'm gonna have to clean my desk and all that stuff, and then I'll check back in with you guys. Hey, what's up, Aquamigos? So it's actually just after 11 p.m. I totally forgot to end the video earlier. I was just like hanging out, like watching The Simpsons. But anyways, I pretty much got my full 8 hours in today. Check out this cool keyboard. The video on this keyboard will be coming out soon on my tech channel. As for the Aquamigos, I'm going to try my best to upload every Friday. Hopefully I can stick to that schedule. And also, hopefully this video was at least entertaining. I don't know, I hope it was. If it wasn't, I won't make any more videos like this, but if it was entertaining, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know if I should make more videos like this. And make sure to stay tuned for my next pond build videos, because we are so close to finishing that thing and getting the fish in there. And that's just about it for today, guys. Of course, if you did like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you went down there and gave this video a like. If you would like to see more of my videos in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I'll go ahead and put my handle right here. I know I talked about a bunch of stuff, so all the links for everything that I talked about in this video will be down in the description below, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Peace.